Right, Kev. How do you sum up a game like that?
Oh, for a neutral, it must have been outstanding. The chances created in today's game for both sets of teams, both squads, it's phenomenal. Must have been some game to watch. It's a bit nervy for me, but it must have been some game to watch.
The second half performance in particular was superb from us. Kind of 3 goals, could have been more. What did you say to the team at half time?
At half time, we just kind of spoke to them again about doing things better from the start. That my worry was that we started the second half the same as we started the first half. We've discussed this for weeks now about we're slow starters. We're conceding goals. Once we get 20 minutes into the game, we start kicking into life. I felt we finished the second half of the first half the stronger side. I didn't really want half time to come, to be honest, but the second half performance was probably the best we've been this season over a large period of a game, which I thought we controlled the majority of it. Obviously, Bonnyrigg had chances. They're always going to have chances, but we had just as many chances today. If that game had finished 5-5, it would have been probably fair.
In midfield today, Caelan McCrone and Michael Barfoot both came into the side and both played a big impact had a big impact in the game. What did you make of those two performances in the centre of the park?
I thought both of them were good. I thought the whole midfield was good. I thought Michael Mbewe was good. I thought Harry Wright was outstanding again, as was Kyle Summers. So I'm not going to pick on just these two guys that have started. The other three contributed massively as well. But for both of them to make their debut, to come to Bonnyrigg, to be 2-0 down, to show the same character that the rest of the boys have shown, over the course of the season so far, I was delighted. Young Caelan's shown us, the goal scoring midfielder he can be. Could have won a penalty. He scored. They taken his chance very, very well, and he had another one identical after it. And he shows that the strengths that he can bring to the squad as well. Michael Barfoot's got a great range of passing. He works hard. He knows where he's going to be. He's a clever football player, and that just gives us that wee bit solidity in midfield, willing to keep the ball and willing to move the ball from side to side.
Obviously, it was a very different feeling this time last week when we spoke after the Preston game. How pleased are you with the response your players have shown in the last week and today in particular in getting this result?
Definitely. We've never lost 2 lone league games in a row. Last week was the first time that we had lost 2 games consecutively. So we were adamant that this wasn't going to be the first time we were going to lose 2 lone games in a row this season anyway. So that, next week's even bigger than this. To come up here's a big game, Bonnyrigg, ex-league side. Next week's even bigger, and the boys will be good for that.
Last question about today before we look ahead to next week. Up front, kind of both Taylor Hendry and Greg Binney both had roles to play. Kind of in terms of kind of Taylor Hendry's work effort all the way through, and then Greg Binney, the composure he showed to take that penalty. How important is that to have players you can call on and players up front?
Doing that? We had an average age of a starting team today of just under 22. I think we were 20, 21 something. A lot of experience on the bench. We had Boozy, we had Bucks, we had Binney, we had Piper. We've got a lot of experience on the bench today, but to get this result from a squad that's, like I say, average age of just under 22, outstanding. And the two most experienced boys played a massive part. Taylor hustling, bustling all day, taking the game and linking it, and Binney got that composure to score the winner there with 5 minutes to go.
Last question. Scottish Cup on Saturday, your first Scottish Cup match as Berwick manager, a big match with Nairn coming down. How do you feel about both the game and the occasion we'll have next weekend?
Scottish Cup's always special. I've been involved in football a long time, playing, managing, and you get a different buzz next Saturday morning when I wake up. Players will have that same buzz, and it'll be a proud moment, obviously, to represent the club again in a different capacity in the Scottish Cup. So something I'm really looking forward to. Nairn are on a great bit of form. I've seen they've won again today, so that's them 1-4 at the last 5, scoring I think an average of 3 goals. So one thing I'll probably guarantee is next week there'll be goals in the game. You know, we're good for that every single week. We're good for goals in a game, and I can't see next week being any different really.